Well, hello, everyone. Got my hair on the wrong side. Carrie back, family. Eve is so glad you are here. It is December when we're actually recording it and we're going to give it to you. And I want to help you enjoy this month of December as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. It is Christmas time. Some people call it holidays. I personally call it Christmas because we've had Thanksgiving. Now it's time to have Christmas. But how do you actually enjoy Christmas with all the things you feel like you need to do? That's what we're going to talk about today. I am so glad you are here. So let's talk about that. I want to pose a question wherever you're listening to this. You might leave a comment. What do you want for your business when you wake up on January 1st? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up on the first day of next year? We've got a month to get ready for 2024, and we do not need to be overwhelmed. You do not need to be overwhelmed. You personally can plan now so you're not overwhelmed during the Christmas season. And even if you have little ones, I know that is hard. It is stressful. My kids are 30. I remember those little years, and I remember it even more now because I got grandkids. I just spent the weekend with them, and they are full of energy. Oh my gosh, yesterday the 2-year-old didn't want to finish his lunch, and so he didn't get his dessert. And all we could think was, this kid needs a nap. Can you relate? I'm sure you can. That's not what this is about. Even when there are little ones, you can still be ready for next year and not worried about what am I going to do in January. Let's take some time this month to get ready, to have a plan, to think about your budget, to have quarter one completely planned. Over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be talking about some tips, some strategies, some tools that you can use. And at the end of this month, we're going to have a treasure map that you can fill in and be completely ready for Q4. Q1, not Q. We're in Q4, Q1. So what are some things that you could do? If you're listening to me, let me know. What are you doing to get ready to be able to take some time off? Because let me just say, if you can't take off time for Christmas, you're in the wrong place. What's the point of all of this? I love my freedom. I love the flexibility. That doesn't mean I don't work really hard when I work, but I have freedom to spend time with my grandkids. So what am I doing? Before we tell you the tips of what I'm going to do, I would love it if you would just share this podcast with someone, some other marketers, some other bloggers, some other online business owners, so that they can be fully prepared. I would love to help them in their growth as a business owner, as an online business owner. So please click the subscribe and then share this with your friends. So, what are some things that I am doing right now? I am actually, well, I'm working on some goals. I will tell you that. I can tell you more later, but I am planning for 2024. I have planned a promo calendar for every month of the year, and y'all are going to laugh at me, but I'm going to show you my promo calendar. Very small. Here is my promo calendar, although you can't really see it. Let's see if we can get the lights. There you go. I basically wrote the months of the year and wrote the one promo that I was going to be doing. And I'm going to tell you, I have two businesses. I tried not to plan a promotion for each business in the same month. I wanted to be fully focused. I tried to do that in the fall, and it was sort of a failure. So, seriously, y'all can go through, take a Post-it note, write the months of the year, and then the one thing that you are going to promote. I was wishing y'all could actually sort of see it. There you can see a little bit of writing. Anyway, that's what I plan. Well, if you're listening to audio, you can't see any of it anyway. So I plan every month for the whole 2024. Then I am now pulling back and I want to be fully planned for Q1, January, February, March. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That's my planning. Oh, that is what I've been working on actually for the past month. You may go, well, it's too late, Carrie. No, it isn't. You could do this little post-it thing. Like probably in 1 hour, you could come up with 12 promotions that you want to focus on. It's not that hard. We're going to get to Q1 in a minute and over the next 2 or 3 podcasts. This part of December for me is enjoying Christmas. And if you cannot enjoy, if you are working so hard that you just take the day off and then move forward and start working on the 26th, why do you have a business? Plan now. This week, right now, while you are listening to this, so you can enjoy Christmas. Now, I will tell you, I will still check in between Christmas and New Year's, but overall, I will not do any major work. Y'all probably know I'm not really good at checking in on email every day of the week anyway, or Facebook. But so that's sort of my norm. I do have people that actually, oh my goodness, I do have people that can actually do that for me. But plan now so that you can take time off. That is exactly what I am doing so that I can be prepared. I want the freedom to be with my grandkids and my kids, just like we were this past weekend for my granddaughter's baptism. Working through the holidays. Why? Why would you work through the holidays? Why are you an entrepreneur? Let's take a step back. If you feel so much pressure that you have to work every day, FOMO, fear of missing out on something, you're going to miss the magic. You're going to miss the traditions of Christmas. And really, what is the point? Why do you have a business if all you do is work? The whole point of having a business, an online business that you can walk away from at times, is to enjoy the freedom and the flexibility for whatever it is you want to do. For me, it is being with my friends and family, to be able to invest in other people from a Christian perspective and tell them more about Jesus Christ. Now, I will tell you, in the past, I have worked a lot, but not in the recent years. Sometimes you may feel like I did in the past, desperate for money. I've got to make that money. I'm going to come up with a sale between Christmas and New Year's. I'm going to pour myself into it. It's not worth it. Or obsessive work habits. I personally love to work. I love my job. There are certain parts I just love doing. And in my free time, I would love to do that some more. But I know that's not good for me. My brain needs a break. It needs to think on other things. And this is a perfect time. When are the holidays for you? Leave a comment. When are you going to take a break? I know people in my mastermind that take a break a whole week before Christmas and then the whole week between Christmas and New Year's. They get everything planned ahead of time. When are you going to do it? I will definitely be off from Christmas to New Year's, along with times for hosting and preparing several holiday parties in my home. In fact, I'm having a dinner tonight. So I didn't really start working today till about 10:30. Yeah, that's the truth. That's why this is a little bit late. Because I've got women coming over for dinner and prayer tonight. How will you make it work to not work all of December? Leave a comment wherever you're listening to. Let me know. Now, if you're like my homeschool moms, I have been preaching this to them since the middle of November. Don't homeschool through December. Take a break from Thanksgiving to New Year's. Make your life your homeschool. I'm going to tell you the same thing in business. Take a break. You don't need to be doing work, work, work all between Christmas and New Year. I mean, Thanksgiving and New Year's. Have some time to enjoy your family. And I tell my homeschool moms, make your life your homeschool. But you must plan to take time off. So here's what I have done. In 2024, I have decided I normally launch my Raising Leaders course, my flagship course, middle of January. Not not doing that this year. I'm doing a mini launch in March, and then I'm doing one launch all year long, and that will be in May. Like years past, I'm not going to do that. My life is too important. My next major launch in my homeschool business is end of February, my Life Skills Leadership Summit. Now, I am working on that. Speaker applications due last week. I will review those this week. We will send out acceptances this week, and then they will start to turn things in. But that is not going to consume my life. I will check in lightly. So that is part of planning and not overwhelming myself through the holidays because I'm not going to have a huge major launch in January. The other thing I'm gonna look at, I have not done this in a while, is my budget. I plan to do that next week. Now, in order to have a budget, you need to know what your finances were in the last year or 2. I use QuickBooks for that. If you don't know what your finances, your income, and your expenses are for the past 2 or 3 years, there's one thing you know you need to fix, especially in 2024. But I have all that history, so I can look at what are my revenue goals. I also will be looking at other goals. One of the things I am working on for to increase my revenue goals is Facebook ads. And to one of my goals is to have success in Facebook ads because as I told Heather on an interview, she's teacher biz mom. I told her, "I am a Facebook ads failure." Well, I decided a few weeks ago that was not gonna happen anymore. I bought a course for $600. Yes, I do buy courses. Y'all may think all I do is sell y'all courses. No, I buy courses to improve my business. And so my goal is to use Facebook ads, especially for my events and launches, and then I will let it trickle down into everyday type of marketing. I'm gonna rework my marketing funnels so that my Facebook ads it's all combined. That is my number 1 success goal when it comes, and I've got numbers I can go back and look at. So, I'm going to plan for that. I'm gonna plan for budget. Then a promo calendar. I've already told you about my humongous, uh, annual calendar, but that is what it will take to get revenue goals. So, how to homeschool my child. What are the things that I have put on my annual? And you'll notice there's not 12 things. I have Raising Leaders Not Followers. I have 2 events, one in February, one in July. I have seasonal products at Christmas, Easter, summer, and Reformation Day, which is October. I have a 22 Days of Thanks blog post where I get guest bloggers to come in. And this is something I've been sort of thinking through. I plan to relaunch my Gigi's Mailbox Club in a whole new format at Easter time. So I'm working on that, but I don't have to have everything done by January. Family EBIS, what am I gonna do? I have on my calendar when I will be opening up our mastermind. For those of you that don't know, I run small group masterminds. This has been humongous for some of the bloggers and online businesses that I work for. I will only be opening it 2 or 3 times during the next year. I have all my meeting dates already scheduled. I have our co-working hours because we get together once a month for an hour and we are heads down focused and get some work done. I have all of those all planned out in our monthly trainings and ideas to increase my Facebook group interaction. So those are goals. Those are things I've already thought through. I have an event that was supposed to be in October. We are now moving it to April and sort of rethinking the whole model. So I have time. It's not like I'm doing it in January. And then one of my goals for Family eBiz, and I am planning for this, is to increase interaction in my Facebook group. You may be watching this right now in Family eBiz Facebook group. And if you are, I have a new assistant that is going to help me with this. The other thing I have on my calendar are our family trips. I go and spend time with my kids, but we all get together at least once a year besides holidays. Now, this is not completely planned, but I do have for Family eBiz January and February, maybe even March, fully planned. I've got my podcast planned. Do I have all the details? No, and I don't have it recorded. But one of my goals for both homeschool and family eBiz to have all my weekly promotional emails done in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So they're scheduled. And then my podcast plan. Now I won't record, I'll record all of December now. And then in 1st of January, I will record January and February. What do you want to feel like when you wake up on January 1st? I know what I want, but it's really up to you. What do you want your business to be like? What kind of ideal day and week do you want? That would be the last thing I'd sort of like to leave you with. I have decided to quit doing Monday lives. I'm recording all my podcasts. It gives me Monday to really focus and get ready for the week and just slide into the week as well. The other thing I'm working on is time blocking. I am not recording podcasts 5 days a week. There is one day that people can sign up to be interviewed, and that's when it is. And that's when I do guest interviews. How will you unplug in December and enjoy the Christmas holiday? Enjoy time with your family, time with your friends. What will you be able to do to enjoy the freedoms and the flexibilities of an online business? Or are you going to let that online business be a burden to you? I highly encourage you to take a step back. Find a way to completely unplug, at least for 1 week, and enjoy your family, enjoy the freedoms, enjoy the flexibility of an online business. More than likely, that is why you got into this in the first place. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with me. I am Carrie back with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.